Welcome to this video on an overview of the pipeline report for Residential Contractor Services Group clients. So the first thing I want you to do is to view this in full screen mode. I have a widescreen monitor and you won't be able to see this unless you're viewing it in full screen mode. So go ahead and click on that full screen mode button down on the bottom right corner. So this is the second video in the series that I'm creating. This is going to provide you with an overview of the specifics of how the pipeline report is structured. So there was a previous video that I created giving you an overview of the benefits of using the pipeline report and how we are utilizing Google Sheets and Google Drive with each of our RCSG clients. So let's jump in here and actually give you a good overview of how the pipeline report works. So I'm going to take off my screen here and so I can start to jump around here on this spreadsheet. So if you saw the previous video, you know that there's 5 different tabs in this spreadsheet. So the first tab is the sales pipeline tracking report. And this is where we track the sales starting up here at the top of the sheet with the new and qualified prospects, and then as that prospect progresses through the pipeline, we move down the sheet into estimating and then proposals and estimates, and then at the end, hopefully into the signed contracts, but if not, it goes into the dead leads and lost bids, and those are just as important to track. So you'll notice that each one of these are different sets of colors, and those are determined here in our stage category here for our drop-down menus. So the new prospects are the light yellow, and then as we move from the new prospects to the qualified prospects to estimating, and then finally to proposals, you can see that the colors change along the way. So each of these colors corresponds to the categories of the columns that we are going to fill out for the spreadsheet. So initially on the sales pipeline tracking report, we're going to fill out these first columns here, which is our basic information about contacting, address, the project type, job type, scope of work, sale probability, estimated gross sales revenue, and then it calculates the potential gross profit. Then as we move, and then notes and follow-ups. Then as we move through that, we could then go to the new prospect, which is these 4 categories. So once we have the new prospect, we're going to keep the lead source and the lead details and the broker and the architect as we go through that. Then once we move into qualified prospects, then we will be completing these columns in the spreadsheet as we get to more information about our qualified prospects. As the prospect then moves into estimating, we'll complete these columns here to provide us with the information that we need to track during the estimating stage. And then finally, once we create a proposal, we'll fill out these columns here. Now, the beauty of this system is that as you progress down the pipeline here, you don't have to re-enter any information. You can simply grab, let's say here, the Smith House, and once the Smith House moves here from new and qualified prospects, we can drag it right down here into estimating, and then we just change the status to estimating, and then once they move from estimating to a proposal issued, we slide them down here, and then we change them over to the proposal standpoint. So that's the sales pipeline report. Let's move now to the second tab, which is the design pipeline. So for those of our clients that do design work, this is where we can be tracking both the pre-design as well as the design work. These first columns here are taken from the previous tab. That information is the same. Then we have an updated design scope of work. We're tracking the design fee, the gross margins, and the projected gross profit. We also want to track our production. So we want to see when we started the design and when we had committed to starting it and when we actually started it, as well as the duration of the design and when we completed it, and then any notes and follow-up. Once we move from the design, or if we didn't involve the designs, we move to the third tab, which is our construction pipeline tracking report. And this is where we track our projects first and starting in the pre-construction stage, and then moving to the construction stage, and then we also want to be able to track anything that's in the punch list and warranty standpoint. So again, the same common information that we have on all of the spreadsheet tabs, and then specifically for the construction scope of work and the stage of construction we're in. We also want to remember what kind of bid type we had and our construction amount, our gross margin, and then we can also project what our remaining to be billed and our remaining gross profit is. And then also we want to check our timing as far as when we actually started versus when we said we were going to start and where we are with our duration of it. Now, all of the information from these first three tabs feeds into the fourth tab, and this is a really powerful dashboard where we can track our KPI or key performance indicators. So it allows us to be able to track our remaining to be billed in construction and pre-construction, as well as our backlog for signed and design and pre-design projects. And we not only want to track the actual amount of all of those projects that we have, but also because we have a gross profit percentage, we can actually figure out how much of that revenue is going to be available for the company to utilize in the operations. Then we can also track the value of the prospects that we're looking at, the estimates we have in process, as well as the proposals that we have out for review. And then we can also track the number of proposals, number of estimates, number of projects that we have in design, and we can track that over time, over the months, so that we can see how our business is doing. And then the last tab, the fifth tab, is where we track our third-party marketing with our architects, designers, and realtors. And we are keeping not only their contact information here, but then also when we first contacted them, what our most recent contact was, and also if we hopefully are working with them on any potential projects that we might be bidding or future projects, and then our notes and follow-up. So that's the overview of the pipeline tracking report. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how it works. I will create one more video where I'll actually walk us through the stages of a particular project, starting with a new prospect and all the way through construction. So stay tuned for that next video, and thank you for watching.